I'm Cindy Davis Evans of The Cindy Davis Show. And before I introduce my guest, I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Andre Pittman of Enthroned Records Entertainment, who made this interview possible. Now, joining me today are three beautiful, talented, classy ladies, formerly of the Motown legendary group, The Supremes. Welcome, Miss Scherrie Payne, Miss Susaye Greene, and Miss Joyce Vincent.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness, you look so lovely.
So beautiful. Oh, thank you so much for joining me. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so much fun. Wow.
What a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Party, party.
Turn on my light so I get a little bit more light on.
How are you doing?
All right.
Doing
good. Yeah, hanging in there. You know, we're doing the best we can. We're trying to stay healthy and keep our spirits up. You know, that's all we all can do. It's all we can keep praying and keep moving.
That's right. Keep praying.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord,
Wow. What do you miss the most? Would y'all be traveling right now? Would you be doing touring right now?
Yeah. Yes.
You would be?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss it badly. I don't know about anybody else, but I miss the traveling. I
Me
do.
too.
Oh, wow.
And even more so the money. Dang.
Oh.
Yeah. Sure. It's true. And you know what else? I miss us hanging out. You know, we always have so much fun, Cindy. We do. We have the best time. And we always just laughing, having a good time together, you know. So you miss that, you know.
Yeah. I miss that.
And
How about you?
The fans all over the world. We have some wonderful fans who have become friends, actually.
It's true.
With us on a regular basis. So when we go to their country or their city, we miss that contact with them.
I know.
Oh,
Say hello to all your fans. Hello. Just say hello to all your fans.
Yes, we love you.
We love you.
We sure do.
We love you so much. Wow. I want to congratulate you for being inducted into the BMAs.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
The Hall of Fame of BMAs.
Thank you, Susaye, for bringing that wonderful song to us that she wrote with
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for singing. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Unconditional Love, correct?
Yes.
Beautiful song.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's what we all desire. Unconditional love, you know.
That's
We're
right.
always looking for that, you know. Somebody love us regardless, you know, whether good, bad, indifferent.
I know. It strikes a chord, doesn't it? That's right. I think that's why we're here on earth, is to love each other. I really do.
Yes.
You know, that's why I write love songs. You know,
that's what it's all about. It's all about love, you know.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, the love of God and Him.
That's right.
You know, if He's in our heart, we can spread it abroad, you know.
He said to love ye one another as I have loved you.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Amen. His word.
Yes, a new commandment. Amen.
And his word is true.
It is. So how did you two meet? How did you meet?
Oh.
In 1976, I think. I remember. I think I was over at Brian Holland's house, and Cindy had left the group, and they brought in this new young lady who was going to be take her place and be the third Supreme. And they brought it because they always call me the little lady with the big voice. At first, I used to get insulted. I said, "You trying to say I sing loud?" But anyway,
she was tiny.
I said, "Oh, she's littler than me, so I'm no longer a little lady with a big voice."
That's right. You got to be tall, didn't you? That's true.
We hit it off instantly.
That's so true.
We hit it off instantly.
That is such a blessing. How tall are you? Well, I'm 5'2", so.
Oh, me too.
You're the tall girls.
Yeah.
I am 4'11" and 3/4. Everybody's taller than me.
Oh, we'll take it.
Hey, I'm grateful for every quarter inch.
Okay. And I've always liked tall guys, so that makes it even better.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, really? Okay. Y'all got
That's funny.
Wow, amazing. I remember I saw a clip of you. I think you was on Merv Griffin, and I think y'all was just as cute as a button, and you're even more beautiful. But you know, Merv,
thank you.
I think
think y'all were looking for a third girl, and I think you told him that you couldn't find anybody because they were all tall. Y'all was looking for somebody.
That's right. I remember that. Oddly enough, I do. Oh, funny. But you know, it's about how much is in your heart and soul. That's all that matters.
I know. Yeah, of course. Of course. I know. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So how has becoming a Supreme, we're going way back, how did that change your life? Scherrie, how did that change your life?
Well, it significantly changed my life because I was just that little girl in Detroit, born and raised, and I had never been outside of Detroit other than I went to Michigan State after I graduated from high school, and but after that, the only time I traveled outside, other than going to Canada to fish with our father, Puerto Rico, going with my sister Frida, who was singing then, and sometimes I would go with her and my mother to Puerto Rico a couple of times, I remember. And other than that, I hadn't really been anywhere. Once to California, traveling by car with my father, with Ed Bradley Sr., you know, his son was on the 60 Minutes for years.
60 Minutes, sure.
And then to New York, we traveled to New York with Berry Gordy and his business partner George Kelly, back in I think 1956 or something. But other than that, I hadn't been anywhere. So when I became a Supreme, all of a sudden I'm going to England, I'm going to Japan, Australia, you name it. I was there, Italy. It was like, dang, I've arrived. The whole big world out there.
Susaye, how did it change your life when you became a Supreme?
Oh, well, that's a really interesting question. I was singing with Wonder Love, with Stevie Wonder, and we were traveling around the world. I've been traveling since I was a little kid, but when I joined Wonder Love and we went, with Stevie Wonder everywhere. We went everywhere, Japan, all over.
Wow.
But the difference was with the Supremes was in Wonder Love, it was a group that was a 10-piece group. And aside from, obviously traveling with Stevie Wonder, we wrote all the time. We rehearsed 6 days a week, and we were like teenagers. That's all we had to do. It was like a paid vacation.
Wow.
But when I joined the Supremes, it was, I was more out front. I mean, I've always had solo spots in the show. That was my deal. I'd have a solo shot as well as, singing backgrounds for Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, whoever I sang with. But in the Supremes, you were one of the Supremes. There was a different set of responsibilities, a different set of glamour, and it's funny because the very things that I learned when I joined the Supremes, I've always been about meeting the people, and keeping it real, basically being myself. But because the Supremes have such a high profile, that is a legacy. I found that people had different expectations of me. And it's even now, people expect you to be a Supreme, literally, so it's, you make your own spin to it, and so that you can remain yourself. That's what I believe. That's what I've always believed in as an entertainer. It doesn't matter how many people know about you or know who you are. You just are yourself. Right. And I think I got that really from Ray Charles. He was always the same. It didn't matter if he was on stage or doing, some big television special or whatever. He was just Ray, And I've tried to be just Susaye, even though I love glamorous Susaye.
And you do it well. Oh my God.
What? Cindy, I just want to mention that Joyce has been trying to log on and Eric Iverson has been trying to help her. He said he just sent the info to her now and talking her through it. She's trying again now to get on.
Good.
Joyce, okay, sure.
Joyce Vincent.
Okay, we're gonna have a big party now.
She's trying to log in now. If you see her trying to log in, you'll know.
Let me see. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. I do. Oh, okay.
Because I kept wondering, where's Joyce? That's why I kept looking.
Yes, I know. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Okay. Susaye, where are you from?
I was born in Houston, Texas.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, are you serious?
I'm in
Oh,
Houston now.
wow.
Born in Houston.
Really?
Yeah.
You're in
Oh,
Houston.
wonderful.
H-Town in the house.
There she is.
Wow.
Hi, ladies.
Hi,
Hi,
Joyce.
Susie.
Where are you?
Hi, honey.
Hi, Joyce.
Can you see us?
Hi, Cindy. How you
Hi,
doing?
I can't see you. Let me see if I can.
Oh, you can't?
Click on the camera where it says camera and has a
Yeah.
thing
A
over it.
little cross.
A little cross over it. Click that so you can open up the
Yeah,
camera.
because there's no cross on Joyce. Well, there isn't on yours either, Sherry, so it's not about that.
Yeah, I opened mine.
Yes.
See it, Joyce?
Where you see yourself, Joyce, there's
No.
the little box, but do you see a little box and there's just a couple of white marks? There should
It
be
has my name on it.
Yes, we see
Yes,
that.
it should be
Should be a picture of a camera, like a
picture of
movie
the camera, and just
Yeah.
There you are.
Video.
There you are.
Oh, where am I?
You're right. See, when you
I don't
look
know
on
where I am.
participants, there you are, Joyce.
You see her?
No.
Oh,
not
okay,
yet, not
okay,
yet. We're
okay.
working on
Look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of your screen. It should be there. A camera.
Oh, there she is.
Oh,
Yes.
girl, you did
Hi,
it.
hi,
it.
Joyce.
Did it.
Here I am. I lost me for a minute.
Hello. Welcome.
New technology.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All this new
Oh,
technology. My
fabulous.
daughter or my grandson have to help me.
Oh yeah.
I just not with it.
Sure. How you doing?
Welcome. Welcome, Ms. Joyce Vincent. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We was just talking about what it means to be a Supreme. And yeah, so now it's your turn to let us know your thoughts.
Oh, God. Oh, it means the world to me because I grew up with that sound. And, you know, being a kid looking up at, you know, at the girls, it's just amazing to be able to keep that music alive.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
agree. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, Joyce was an original member of Tony Orlando and Dawn before she joined.
Yeah.
Linda Lawrence and
Yes.
Susaye and the performer.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. We used to watch that show every week.
Didn't we all?
Hey,
Me
yeah,
too.
I'm so proud of her.
Oh
So
my
proud of
God.
her.
You really paved the way. You know, we didn't really see a lot of Black people on television at that time. So
Yeah.
when we
That's
saw
right.
you and the Supremes, and you know, we would gather around the television and we'd be like, Black people.
I know.
Well, back in my day, Cindy, we didn't say Black people. I would say, Mama, come quick, colored people on TV.
Yeah, really.
Colored people on TV.
Oh, okay. That's it.
funny.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
I remember Oprah saying that. She was so delighted. Remember, people like me, you know.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. So, what was it like working with Tony Orlando?
It was like working with anybody. You know, you have your ins and outs, your ups and downs, you know, but it was it was wonderful, really, because we actually did a tour 2 years ago, and that was so wonderful, you know. Get back and do that again.
Wow. Wow, I bet that was some experience for you though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely an experience. Because I got to meet a lot of people, you know, a lot of huge stars, people that I watched, you know, in the movies, things of that nature. And that was just really awesome to meet a lot of those people.
Wow.
I watched that Christmas show the other night, Joyce, the Christmas show that you did with Tony and Thelma, and it was beautiful. We went, Sherry and I went to it. What was the name of the place? It was a big casino, one of the big casinos.
Oh, right.
And it was just gorgeous. It was a beautiful
down
show.
in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
Somewhere
exactly.
in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Oh, it was wonderful.
Wow.
Just a couple of nights ago, I saw it.
Yeah, really. I love those old retro shows. It's such a blessing to go back and watch those. You know, it's just
Yeah,
Such a
yeah.
simpler time and place back then, you know?
Right.
I'll say.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, okay,
I'll say.
who were your musical influences, Sherrie?
Billie Holiday and Gloria
Mm,
Lynn.
Oh,
mm,
Billie Holiday.
That's right. In
Awesome.
high school, that's all I played. I would go down in our rec room and turn
Mm-hmm.
on the 3-color pole lamp and
mhm.
get my little play microphone or whatever, and I put on either Gloria Lynn or Billie Holiday. And for
Mm.
that 30 minutes or whatever it was playing the
Mm-hmm.
album, I
Mm-hmm.
became Gloria Lynn or Billie Holiday. And so my mother would
Sure,
yell down the basement,
sure.
Sherrie, turn that music down. You got it too loud. Control the whole thing.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, and what about you, Susaye?
Oh, I have a lot of influence. Oddly enough, even though I had a very high range and was a woman, or a girl,
Mm-hmm.
I had most of my influences were male. I liked
Really?
Johnny Mathis. I'd sing his songs over and over. Yeah, yeah, because of the phrasing, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think Tony
Ooh,
Bennett,
yeah.
and oddly enough, when Donnie Hathaway came along, and by then, of course, you know, I had developed my own style and all of that. But I was in a different kind of church. I wasn't in a real soul. It was a congregational church in New
Mm-hmm.
York. I grew up in New
Mm-hmm.
York, and so when I heard Donnie, I was like, this is this is different. You know, this
Yeah.
is something on another level, and it
Yes.
really affected me. Not just the emotion of it,
Yes.
but the way that he phrased the production, the writing, all of that. You know, the way that he phrased the song and the depth of emotion that he put into a song. That just, I can remember being in New York with Stevie Wonder, and we were in a big yellow cab.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you know, you had boom boxes, big,
Yeah.
huge boom boxes
Oh, right,
sitting on the
yeah.
seat.
Mhm.
And there were way too many of us in this cab. There were about maybe 6 people sitting in this cab. But that was Wonderlove. You know, we go to New York to record or whatever with Steve, but we're in this all piled in this cab. And the cab driver's kind of worried if he gets stopped, he'd get in trouble. But and we were just partying. And suddenly Donnie Hathaway came on, and it was quiet. Everybody just stopped. And Steve, you know, Steve, he moves his head like that, you know, when he's talking. And suddenly he was like, frozen.
Frozen, stop moving, huh?
Okay, who is that? Who is that? And somebody said, that's Donnie Hathaway. I think it was Nate Watts,
Wow.
you know, bass player. That's Donnie Hathaway. And still, you know, I miss him. I'm so grateful that Layla is as famous now as she is.
Yes.
Because for one thing, she has that same warmth of tone and the depth of emotion. And she still sings. She sings a lot of his songs, thankfully. So, you know, it what do you call it? It pushes it forward to a new generation. I love that.
Miss Joyce, who were your influences?
Gosh, you know what? I grew up in a household that was lots of jazz. My dad was a jazz musician.
Oh.
So there was, you know, the Dinah Washingtons and, you know, Sarah Vaughan and, you know, those kinds of people. And then later on, Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick is it for me. I love that woman. I love her voice.
Oh my
God. She's phenomenal, isn't she?
You know, then there was the different ladies in the Motown era.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was growing up at that time, you know, so you got those ladies. I mean, it's just, I had a lot of influencers.
Yes, yes. You know, me as a little black girl from the 70s, born in the 60s, and I'm telling you, I'm so blessed to have my influences right here. The Supreme. Oh my God. Yes,
Thank you.
The Supreme. I wanted to sing, but that wasn't my calling. But I'm just so blessed to have you here. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Thank you.
Throw that in. Oh, very welcome.
Yeah.
We're blessed to still
so
be here.
Oh,
amen.
What profession do you think you would have pursued? This is to everyone. What profession do you think you would have pursued if it were not music or entertaining?
Well, I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Miss Scherrie wanted to be a pediatrician?
I wanted to be a pediatrician, a doctor. And it so impressed my mother's friends when they would ask me if I was going, what do you want to be, Scherrie? When you go, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pediatrician. That's such a good reaction. I just kept saying it.
Yeah.
When I started at Michigan State in 61, I did start off in pre-med. And then after 2 years, when I saw reality, I said, I don't think I want to be a doctor. So anyway, with all the science classes I had taken, my friend Sandy Sims Fairley, told me to go into medical technology, and I could use a lot of my credits for that. So that's what I did. She was already in it, and in fact, she's a microbiologist right now. But so I graduated in '66 with a Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology. But I never did an internship in a hospital because I knew I didn't really want to. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be.
Of course.
You know, I was searching, and my mother said after I graduated, she said, "Well, you're going to do something." After I paid all that money, she said, "What was it? $1,200 a year for you to go to college." $1,200.
We wish now, right?
Oh yeah.
How funny is
So
that?
I started teaching. I taught school until I started singing at Invictus.
Yeah.
What did you teach?
I taught senior and graded boys at Grayling School of Observation. These were boys, teen boys, high school age boys who had been kicked out of regular school and had been to juvenile detention or something like that. And I went home with a migraine headache almost every day.
Oh my God, not good, not good.
I love some of those boys. I often wonder what happened to some of them.
Amazing. What about you?
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Greene? Have you always just wanted to do?
I've always wanted. Yeah. I've always wanted that, you know, but if I didn't, I've always wanted music. I'd like rock myself to sleep singing to myself, you know, in the crib. And that's what they told me, because I don't remember, you know. But I know that I was interested in music. I was passionate about music. But if I didn't have that, I'm pretty sure it would be something like research, you know, some kind of medical research. Because I'm a real nerd, science head, you know, love science. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I advocate for STEM, you know, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, you know, for kids in schools and that, because it's always been a passion of mine. Learning, you know, finding out new things, the idea of, I mean, Bill Nye, the science guy, you know, that to me was, I'm like, really? Wow, you know, like that, yeah. But see, I always was creative in other ways as well, at painting, you know, art of all kinds, sculpture, all kinds of art has always just, you know, whatever was creative. So I more than likely would have done some of that as well. You know, I mean, I do it anyway, is painting and like, you know, so you tend to do the things, hopefully, that you're passionate about, you know, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Joyce?
Well, I think that I would have gone into being a pastry chef.
Oh,
because I love to bake.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I love to bake. You know, so I probably would have gone that route. And you know, I've just been baking since I was a kid. You know, a little kid.
She's good too.
Yeah,
good.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I do still bake, but not nearly as much as I'd like to. But yeah, probably I would have done something like that with some singing on the side.
Oh yes, a singing chef.
Sure. The singing chef. I love that. It's a good hook.
Wow.
And I was singing before my mother said in the crib, like Susaye, I was singing before I learned how to talk. I would sing. And when my mother would have friends over, like bridge or something, I would get in the middle of the floor and just start singing a song to them. And then when I finished, I said, "You want to hear it again?" And I just started singing it again.
You want to hear it
I
again.
was meant to become a singer.
Oh,
that's right. I believe that, Scherrie.
Oh, wow.
We're so glad you are, you know.
Oh, thank you. Me too. I'm walking in my purpose.
Yes, you are. We are so happy that y'all pursued singing, because, oh my God, what would we be without you bringing those wonderful memories? Oh, wow. And writing and producing those beautiful songs. Oh my goodness. Oh, So, what nickname did y'all have? Any nicknames growing up when you were growing up? No nicknames for y'all?
Well, my father, Samuel Farley, always called me Poochie.
That's so cute.
Y'all kind of learning some things about each other, huh? Y'all still learning some things.
How funny. That's funny. I never knew that. That is so
cute.
That's cute, Scherrie.
Wow. I never had a nickname. You know, never. I never had any nicknames. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I don't even have a middle name, you know. But I remember thinking, you know, if I could never find anything. My name was already Susaye, you know. So finding something to go with that is probably what the issue was. So it's interesting, you know.
Beautiful name. Miss Joyce, did you have a nickname?
Thank you.
Yes, I did, and I hated it, you know. But it was. I'll spell it for you. Oh gosh, I hate it. Toodie.
Oh, Tootie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something, honey. Most of my relatives didn't even know my real name. That's sad.
Oh my goodness. That was good.
So I asked my mother, why did you start calling me that? Because at that time they had something called a Tutti Frutti ice cream.
Oh,
she said that's what I reminded her of.
Oh, lovely. That's quite a compliment.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It was good. No, that's so cute. Why did you hate it?
I don't know. Because it wasn't my name, you know. And
yeah, sure.
When you go to school and everything, everybody knows you as one name, and then they hear somebody that, you know, a family call you that. It's like embarrassing. Oh, God. I hated it.
That's hilarious, boy.
So, for your vocal play, what do you sing? You sing alto, soprano, kind of in between. What's your vocal placement, Miss Payne?
I'm alto. I used to be somewhat of a soprano too, but not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm an alto.
Yeah, I'm soprano. I'm a coloratura soprano. Real high.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, you can get way
well, you know,
I think those notes.
Sometimes being a studio singer, you have to kind of sing it all. You have to be able to sing it all, you know. I would say that my natural range is probably alto, you know, the lower end.
Yeah. I love singing low too. It's you know, to me, there was a girl named. It is, yeah, but it's also you know, it's got a lot of feeling to it. That's why I think I like the bass, you know, as an instrument. It's down
me
there,
too. I
you
love
know.
it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Can you think of anything that the funniest thing or the most embarrassing thing that you've experienced on stage?
Wow.
Have you forgotten any lyrics?
You have some good ones. I know Scherrie has some good ones.
I've forgotten lyrics. And then I have fallen off the stage. I remember we were somewhere. I'm trying to think where we were performing, somewhere in New Jersey, I think. And Mary, Cindy, and I remember we were singing "He's My Man," and so it was a little bitty stage. So they said, "Now be really careful because the stage is, you know, small." We said, "Okay," in this nightclub, and so I'm singing "He's My Man," and then as I got ready to end the one lyric line, "He's my man," and I went over the side of the stage onto the floor, flat onto the floor, with the microphone still in my hand. And I remember nobody came to help me. And I had to struggle to finally got myself up, and the band is playing, and Cindy and Mary are looking at me like, ooh. And I had to go to the front of the stage to get back up on, because that's the only stairs. And so I got back up on the steps, and it's a good thing we were singing that song, because when we ended it, I said, "You know, he was my man. That's why you pushed me off the stage." And everybody laughed. They thought I had done it on purpose.
Oh,
the
Oh,
time.
they thought it was a part of the act.
They thought it was part of the act.
Wow.
Oh, funny. Oh.
Have you
I
ever
don't
forgotten
know.
any
I don't
lyrics?
know.
Have you ever forgotten any lyrics?
Oh, please.
Go blank.
Yeah, but all the time. It happens, but you just have to kind of, act like, I meant to do that. You do. And we said some weird stuff, in that spot, but it happens sometimes. Sometimes it just goes blank. It's no big thing. But you know what you do? You say, sing!
Sing, you know the words.
You sing with me.
And don't let you have fans there sitting down front and they're looking at you. It's like,
know.
huh?
Yeah,
No,
like,
and
what is wrong with
know all
her?
the words. That gets on my nerves. They know all the words.
Yeah.
They know all they just take over for you. You don't have to worry about it. How they got you.
That's right. They sing along. That's really true. That's an interesting element of being on a stage and singing, performing for people. It's already, it's an obscure thing if you think about it. It takes a certain amount of courage and bravery, boldness. But you're there and people are looking up at you, and sometimes you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm the show. It's a weird thing. But then you see their faces and they're smiling and they're into it. They're pulling for you. That's the thing that touches your heart. It really does. It touches you.
Wow.
To think they're pulling for you. Even if something happens, they'll laugh. They're laughing with you, though.
See?
And that's the thing. Yeah.
See? Wow, that's amazing. Yes. So, okay, as the Supremes, was there a certain pressure to carry on the legacy of the Supremes?
Sure.
Pressure, such as.
Well, the Supremes created a space in entertainment that many people have used as a foundation to jump off what they do. And aside from what they actually went through in the beginning, civil rights was going on, and they were young, independent, active women. So they knew they were representing a different group or a different place for Black people and minorities. Because the thing you realize as you go on and on, it's not even just about Black people. It opened doors for all people of color who thought, I have talent and I can go places that ordinarily people of color couldn't go. So those doors, you're standing in some really big shoes that, excuse me, that it's something that is a responsibility, but it's an honor. You understand? It's an honor. You I looked up to the Supremes when I was growing up in New York. I saw their career grow. I'd be in front of the TV just like everyone else who was, enamored and astonished to see people who were like you, who had your sensibilities and had been through things. All of that is what makes it, such an honor. And, they went through a lot. There were places that they weren't really welcome and people that weren't nice to them. So you stand and you see little girls. I've had people of every age around the world, and it shows our commonalities. When you travel around the world and people say, I loved that song. When I was such and such an age, I listened to that song and it lifted me out of my depression, or, it's sacred. Music is sacred. It carries people forward into, a time you can look back, anybody, looks back, you hear a song and it reminds you of a time in your life. That's a sacred thing. You can't really replace.
Absolutely.
When Joyce and I grew up in Detroit, so we grew up with listening to the Supremes before they were even famous. And being in the same age range, I really took an interest in them because they were so classy.
Yes.
That's what I loved about them. They were so classy. And that's what I loved about Barry Gordy taught them to have class. And but I remember I was at Michigan State in summer school, and I was taking a chemistry course called quantitative analysis. And I was cutting through the dorm to go to the Quonset huts behind. And I heard this beat coming from one of the girls' rooms. They had the door open. Da, 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 baby, baby, don't leave me.
Wow.
And anyway, so I went into their room and they were playing the low 45 records. And I said, oh, what song is that? They said, it's by this new group called the Supremes. Where Did I Love Go? I said, I said, I'm from Detroit. I know that song. I love those girls, blah, blah, blah. And that was always my favorite song. I loved it.
Sure, really? Yeah. Oh,
So many memories.
wow.
Miss Joyce, anything you would like to add to that?
I think Scherrie has pretty much said it all, because like I said earlier, you know, being from Detroit, I was hearing that music all the time. And, you know, looking up to the Supremes and the Marvelettes and the Velvelettes, all the girl groups out of Motown, you know. I wanted to be one of them. Never dreaming I would actually be working with two of the ladies. So yeah, it's in here.
What,
you know?
Miss Joyce, what year did you become a Supreme?
I'm sorry, ask that again.
What year did you become a Supreme?
It's been 11, going on 12 years. It's oh my God, 09.
Oh, 09. Yeah.
Yes, 2009.
Well, it was back in 1979 when Susaye and I, when Mary Wilson was leaving the group, had left the group, and Motown was going to carry on with Susaye, and we were going to choose a third person. And I told Susaye about my friend Joyce, and we had lunch, and Susaye loved her, so we told them we want Joyce Vincent, who was an original member of Tony Orlando and Don. And so it was all set, and then this edict came down from above. I don't know who it was, but since there was no original member.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm not telling.
Shame, girl.
But they said since there was no original member left in the group, they were going to retire the group. And so that's what they did. And Susaye and I went on to do a duet, becoming entitled partners. But it was so ironic that these years later, 2009, that Joyce will become part of us. We can't say the Supremes. We have to say, before it was Scherrie Payne and Linda Lawrence, formerly of the Supremes, with Joyce Vincent. And now Susaye Greene, Scherrie and Susaye, former Supremes, with Joyce Vincent. So Joyce was never officially a Supreme. She sings with two former Supremes, but it's like you are, Joyce. So I give all my homage. Yes, all my kudos and homage to Mary Wilson, the original member of the Supremes, and Diana, of course, and Florence, who created such beautiful music that's still renowned all over the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Beautiful, beautiful. What type of can you remember any racism that you may have faced being in this group on the road?
Oh, yes.
Anything that sticks out in particular?
I got one.
You go first, Susaye, I'll chime in.
Okay.
This happened when we were in. Now, where was it? Where was the place Venlo, which is in
wow,
in Austria. Yeah. We were, and this is recently. Okay, we went to Venlo, which is a huge venue. I mean, really a very prestigious venue. And we get there early. You know, you get there a day early or whatever, a couple of days early in these places. And I remember I was hungry, so I went out of the hotel. And I went to a deli that was just in the same block, and it was a beautiful display in the window, and I could see the lady in there. There was no one else in there, but I went in. I opened it. It was open, and I said, "Oh, that looks fantastic. Could I order a sandwich?" She said, "We don't have anything." I said, "Pardon?" I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" I'm looking at the spread. She says, "Oh no, we don't have anything to offer." And that was it. Okay. So I was like, okay, what do you say to that?
The Netherlands. I got it. It was the Netherlands. Yeah. Oscar.
That's right. That's right. So I left. What can you say? If you call someone, if you lower yourself to call someone, ridiculous or whatever, that's a waste of time. Yeah. I went to the next block and wound up at a beautiful bakery, and they made sandwiches and chocolates and all kinds of stuff. And they were marvelous to me. Didn't know who I was, didn't know anything other than I was a person. And it was like, I saw that because this exists, So, racism is everywhere. And I think now, because absolutely, but we're conscious at the moment,
That's right.
It's
That's
on
right.
people's mind. And I was shocked when the whole Black Lives Matter movement came about. What shocked me was the reaction of the rest of the world. Yes. People protested all over the world because those injustices exist everywhere. And people have had it. I think people who have conscious minds have had it. That's like, get over it. Here we are with all this technology. We've got all this, stuff, tools that we can use to better humanity. And we still are stuck in that little hole. I'm like, get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. If you can't handle that I'm competent, that I have the ability, that I'm Black, that I want the same things out of life that you have.
That's right.
Then bye, Felicia.
I know.
That's right.
That's right. Time out for that. It's a new day. We're not having it anymore.
That's right.
It is a new day.
We're not having it anymore.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right. That's right.
But it's so funny when we were there and that incident happened. Scherrie and I were ready to go and put everybody down. But then we said, no, we can't,
They were. I mean, the ladies were like, what? We're going. And the band, remember? The madmen. Let's all go.
I can remember going way back as a little teen and traveling across country with Daddy and Ed Bradley Sr. That first of all, that was like in the 50s, so you expected it. But we were turned down in restaurants like in Chicago, St. Louis. They wouldn't serve us.
Oh, no.
We couldn't stay at a motel and deliberately waylaid us to someplace way out on the outskirts of St. Louis when we were trying to get a hotel. And the guy finally said, Daddy said, we're so tired. So he said, okay, I'll let you stay, but you have to be up at dawn so none of my other customers will see you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In New Mexico, the same way we went to a restaurant. They said we had to go to the back door to get the food. It was horrible. That was in the 50s. Okay. Then progressing up, when I was in the Supremes in 75, I remember in South Africa, well, they still had apartheid. And we were known as honorary whites, which we didn't know. We had no clue. That's what they had labeled us. But after Mary and I left, and Cindy wanted to stay on a few more days, and when she did, she tried to get a cab, and nobody would pick her up. And finally, one cab stopped for her, but he told her, you have to lie down in the back seat so nobody will see you.
Oh, wow.
Right. He said, or else I could lose my license.
What?
That was in 75. Wow. Then going up, progressing, when I was working in a musical called Dream Street in Las Vegas, at that particular time, it was at the Desert Inn Hotel. And I remember I was going in, it was in the winter time, and it was really cold, and they had a huge parking lot in the back, and going to the stage entrance, and the security guard, white security guard, said, you can't park there. I said, well, there are no cars in here. And plus, it's really cold. I'm one of the stars in the main showroom, Dream Street. He said, I don't care. You have to park way on the other side, blah, blah, like way. The parking lot was completely empty, huge parking lot. So I just kept on walking. And then next thing I heard was, come back here, nigger. And then he said it again. And I just kept on going. And I walked in, I told the cast and stage manager what had happened, and they were just appalled. And anyway, in the middle of the show, I'm doing a solo, and all of a sudden, it's a dramatic song. I just broke down and started crying. And the audience thought, wow, she's really into it. Wow, she's a great actress. But the cast knew why I was crying. It happened. But the next morning, I marched right up to the CEO of Desert Inn Hotel, and with the creator of Dream Street, and I told them what had happened, and I said, that guy has got to go. He said, oh, that's right. We're going to fire him, blah, blah. We don't tolerate stuff like that. Well, okay. They moved him, but then I found out a few days later, somebody told me, they said they didn't fire him. They just moved him to another part of the hotel, an entrance.
Oh, God.
So when the Desert Inn had to get torn down, I was so happy.
Oh, yeah, it
did. Karma.
It's gone.
Yes.
It's gone.
Wow.
That was in 84.
That was in 84?
Yeah, that was in 84.
How about when we were in England recently and we went to get food? Remember we had done the sound check?
That's right.
We went to get food.
That was last year.
That's right. And when we got to the big hall restaurant, they said they couldn't serve us. And we're in the show, we were in the show. You remember, Joyce? We went and they sure did. And I remember they took us to get fish and chips, because they wouldn't serve us in the restaurant. Even though we're going to perform in this place.
They didn't even care. That is just...
They didn't care.
That's ridiculous.
That's why God is sick of this world. He said,
It's amazing. It's amazing the things that we've endured and still are enduring. So we
still are enduring. You're right.
Still.
Long way to go.
That's right.
Still have a long way to go. That was just in 84. But we see it all the time, police brutality and everything.
Sure.
It's just horrible.
That's right.
So now
that's why I can't stand to hear these young people call each other niggers or nigger,
the N-word.
No, it's not a term of endearment. It's a hateful, vile name.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We should lose that name, whatever connotation that is. Just lose it.
Yes,
it's horrible.
Sure.
Yep.
So let's talk about some of your music. Are you doing any Christmas music? You did do a Christmas album, didn't you?
Yes. It's out. It's out now. It's available everywhere. If you look up formerly the Supremes or Scherrie's Susaye and Joyce, then all of the stuff comes up. I try to.
Yes, it does.
Be pretty. It does. All of it is there. You go online, and it's amazing. I haven't been on Yahoo in years, literally. Yeah. But I got a note. I got a notice that one of my passwords was compromised. You have that from time to time, especially nowadays, right? But I was amazed how much stuff is there. It's connectivity. The web is about connectivity. You post something in one place, and it can be found. That's why I always recommend to all artists, whatever you put up, people can find you. Your audience can honestly find you, as long as you keep letting them know places that you go, and that you're, remaining relevant to what's going on in time and in some way. There's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Spotify, there's, all these various platforms and foundations. But you have to push a little bit to let people know that you're well and alive, and they will find you, and they will send you pictures and old videos and things that you haven't seen in years and years. But it's wonderful, though.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Ms. Greene, you wrote. You also were you producer, you're a writer, you're a screenplay writer as well. Is that correct?
That's Scherrie. Yes, I write stories. I write stories that I'm working on to be filmed. But Scherrie has written many screenplays and has had her plays actually produced.
Fabulous plays.
Oh, thank you. I haven't had any of my screenplays done, but I'm waiting for someone to do them. I have 20 screenplays, but I have 5 stage plays, and 2 have been presented here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, by my friend Donald Welch, who is a director, writer, producer. and he's had many successful plays of his own put on.
Sure.
And in fact, he just had one play, a tape that was on TV last Saturday on a new channel called UMC, Universal Music Channel, called Love on a Two-Way Street. With it was fantastic. But Darius McCrary and other stars. But Donald did 2 of my plays, It Always Rains on Sunday, and then he did A Lady in Waiting 3 times. Wonderful. Quincy Jones came. So I was so honored. And he was going to put on a third one, 10 Good Years, this past April at the Barnsdall Theater in Hollywood, but then the pandemic hit, and so everything got shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Little did we know it would be this pervasive, because when we were in rehearsals, somebody came in and said that, well, there's this virus is coming. We might have to postpone that. We said, oh, no, it's not going to affect us. In the whole United States, over 300 million people, only less than 20 people have gotten the virus. Oh, it's not going to affect us.
Oh,
that was the beginning of February. That was in February. Little did we know.
Yeah.
Little did we know. And look.
Sure.
I know. Oh my God.
But it's given me a chance. In fact, I was so happy because I haven't done any writing since February. I was just in deep depression and one thing after another taking up my time, my mind. And so, but anyway, last week I got back into the newest stage play I finished, Lies, Cornbread, and Pie. And then I started on 10 Good Years doing editing and improving. I thought I was improving, which I did, I think. And I finished yesterday and I read it. I said, oh, this is perfect. I love it. So, you know, it's all in God's perfect timing. So
that's right.
Now it's even better than what it was back then. So I'll be ready.
That's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting. We're in the midst of something that is so life-changing around the globe.
Yes, and it is.
The other side of that is it's given us a chance to do new things, to think about doing new things and new opportunities, putting things together in ways we've never considered, you know, because out of necessity. So, you know, things always are in God's plan, and they happen for a reason. But it takes us sometimes, you know, to stop and listen. And that's what has happened to everyone. You've had to stop and listen.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful. You know, I'm very hopeful looking forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely. You know, this has been a time of reflection, time to think outside of the box.
Sure has.
You know, and to, you know, get closer to God too, you know.
That's right.
There you go.
Beautiful
there you go.
opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Beautiful opportunity.
Yes.
You know, did y'all get a chance to work with Marvin Gaye? No.
He's my favorite singer.
Almost.
I never got a chance to work with him. My sister did, Frida, worked with him. But I never got a chance to. But I had written this song I wanted him to duet with me called Slow Dance. And I put it on a cassette. And my friend Ike Sutton, the late Ike Sutton, was going to give it to Viola Gay, Marvin's sister, to play for Marvin. So, because he loved it. This would be perfect for you to sing this together.
Sure.
And so, but Marvin died right after that.
So tragic.
But you know you should do that. You know you should do that song. That's a fabulous track. You know.
Thank you.
We can have access to that track. You know, to do that. It's still a wonderful song. It's soulful and sexy. You know, and that's why you thought of him.
Yeah. Marvin.
Slow down. That thumb out.
Yeah. That's how the guys dance to Detroit. Slow dance.
That's how they do it.
Yeah. I don't know what it meant. If you were cool, that's how you dance.
That's funny. That's so funny.
Joyce knows. Joyce.
Yeah.
Where were you when you heard about Marvin Gaye's death? What were you doing? Remember?
I had just gotten over to my best friend's house, Walter and Barbara Gaines in Glendale, to their place, and Walter was a member of the group, the Originals from Motown. In fact, they did a lot of songs with Marvin, sang background for him, and he wrote songs for them. You know, Baby, I'm for real, the Bells, And so I had just gotten to their place, and Dap Sugar Willie called. And he was
my God, I haven't heard
remember
that
Dap
name.
Sugar Willie? Yeah.
Wow.
And Dap Sugar Willie called. And at first we thought it was a joke. April
Sure,
Fool's
me
joke.
too.
I said
Yeah,
that's
me
not
too.
funny. That's not funny at all.
Oh,
And then we got
yeah.
the word over
That's
the
right.
radio
I
that it was
remember.
true.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's right. It was April 1st, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
1984.
Yeah, I can remember. I was here in LA too. I remember I was in a house. My mother was alive at that time. And, that was the first thought, what kind of joke is that? That's ridiculous,
April Fools, yeah. Everybody thought it was an April
Wow.
Fool joke. It was just unbelievable.
Sure. Couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know.
And
I
I went
remember
to
we
his
went to a
wake.
party. You did? I didn't know that.
I went to his wake in Forest
Wow.
Lawn, and I remember going up to the casket and looking at him, and he looked like a prince in that coffin.
Oh, wow.
So handsome.
Amazing.
And I went to the funeral. I did attend the funeral as well.
We really miss. He's in that list. We really miss Marvin.
Oh,
Marvin,
yes.
You waited to see what he was going to do. There are a few artists that are like that. Donnie was that way.
Yeah.
Michael.
Michael.
Oh, yeah,
Ahead of
yeah.
their time. I said they were ahead of their time.
They were definitely. Speaking of Michael, Susaye, did you write any music that Michael recorded? I think I heard you wrote.
Yes. Yes, I can't help it. Yeah, I can't help it. It was on his Off the Wall. Yes, I'm very proud of that.
Oh my God, it's one of my. I love that one too.
We performed that in our act. Susaye sings that in our show.
We sure did. Yeah, I remember that. The thing about that album, that was Michael's first real adult album. And those songs, and I Can't Help It was the only one of the few songs that wasn't a single. But I get so much mail and texts from people and things asking, saying how that song was their favorite and how it changed their lives, and they went through special things with that song. And that's the thing about a song, you don't know when you're writing it that it's going to affect. I wrote that with Stevie. But you don't know that something is going to affect people or turn out the way that you planned it. But it's a very special moment. And that song is actually his most in his whole discography. That's his most covered song.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
It is.
Great.
Amazing.
It's amazing. You don't think about that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
that is amazing.
It is amazing. It is so wonderful here talking with Miss Scherrie Payne, Susaye, Joyce Vincent of the Supreme, formerly known as the Supremes. And I just want to throw one more thing out there. And I'm going to throw out a year, and you just kind of tell me what you were doing or what you were thinking about or what was going on in your life. Okay, I kind of did this little thing with Michael Henderson. We had fun with it.
Oh, Michael Henderson.
Yeah. And,
wow.
So 1965.
Wow.
I was at Michigan State.
I was graduating high school.
I was a junior in high school. I was going to performing arts, to the school that Fame, the movie Fame and series was made up. That's the school that I went to, performing arts. I was there, and I can remember in 1960. Oh my God, that's so long. 65. I can remember going to the window during like lunchtime, and they had a window that faced the street. And these are all kids in show business, ballet dancers, drama. I was a drama major.
Wow.
And I'm standing at that window, and my voice and diction teacher was Mrs. Shine. She was a little bitty woman. She was fabulous looking, just so pulled together, had really short black hair. She was looked like she was probably Middle Eastern or something, real swarthy, gold. And she was, we all admired her so, because she was always so clean. I went to the window and I saw her coming out the front door, and she got in a red convertible with Marlon Brando. And I was
my goodness.
Whoa.
1965.
Wow.
That was me.
Wow.
Wow.
Rolling Randall.
Wow.
Miss Shine.
Yes,
Miss Shine, you go.
She was really shining.
Baby. Never forget that. That's
Oh, wow. I guess not.
1973.
That's the year I joined the Supremes. 1973.
That's a grand year.
Oh, I think I was touring like crazy with Tony Orlando. We were on the road constantly. Yeah, 73.
Yeah.
That was a good year. That was a really fun year. I can remember I was on, I'm pretty sure I was on tour with Stevie. And that was always so exciting. I can see, you'd be standing backstage, you know, I'd be underneath the stage and you'd come up on a riser and that thing called a cuica. This crazy sound. That's how the show would start. And it was that song, Bird of Beauty, you know. So soulful. And it's just, you get the hairs would raise up on your arms. And you come up underneath on that stage. There's 100,000 people out there.
Oh my God.
Stevie Wonder, honey.
Wow.
That was a good year. That was a good year.
Yeah, I should say.
Nice.
I'm sure I was doing something.
Well, you know, I would love to just be a former Supreme just for 10 seconds.
You
Just
are.
put that hand out,
We
honey.
like you.
Just put that right hand up to the camera and say, come on, Cindy. Put it up and say,
Put the hand out.
in the name
Before you
break
break my heart.
Yeah. Think it over.
Think it over.
There you go.
Thank you. Y'all have made my day, and I'm thank you so much for coming on to the show. I've been talking with Miss Scherrie Payne, Susaye Greene, and Miss Joyce Vincent, formerly ladies of the Supremes.
Yes, thank you.
Ladies are just wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing, and may God bless you in everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. God bless you too, Cindy.
God bless you too. Yes.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Have a Merry Christmas.
And you have
Happy
a
New Year.
Christmas.